Welcome to Muddy River News this week. I have a very special guest, Steve Eighinger. Welcome.
Nice to be here, sir.
The reason we're here is we are fast approaching Daily Dirt 1000, which will drop on Tuesday, July 9th. Did you think you'd make it to 1,000?
I was just happy to get to 2.
Yeah. Me, same here. Every time you send me an email, I'm like, oh, good, he's still alive. That's good to know. So, do you remember how the idea of you doing Daily Dirt came about?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I don't remember why or what made me do it, but about 3 years ago, I started doing a three-thought thing on Facebook each day, and about 2 weeks into that, and again, I don't know why, just one of those things that kind of came to you, and then you gave me a call. I assumed you had been reading it or something, and wanted to know if I'd be interested in working with you guys, and I said, sure, let's do it. So,
I mean, I figured you're writing the Facebook thing for free. You might as well get paid for it.
Even better, yes.
I think but let's be honest. You do have more than 3 thoughts in a day, right?
Some days 6, possibly 7. Most of them revolving around sports and/or food
and westerns.
Westerns. Yes.
That's another big one. So, what can we expect? Can you give us a tease, a taste of anything that will be coming up in Daily Dirt 1000?
To be honest, each day I keep adding on to a list of things I want to maybe deal with or whatever, and it's just a matter of picking those out. It's usually I sit down at night and, okay, let's do this, and this for the next day. And as we're recording this, no, I don't have an idea yet.
One of the things that you haven't done lately is Stevie Love. I think we need some Stevie Love. It doesn't have to be for 1,000, but I think we need some Stevie Love advice here in the not-too-distant future.
We shouldn't deny the people. I mean, there's the lovelorn, the lovesick out there. They need help, and that's what I'm here for.
Kelly in Kinderhook has a story to tell. She has questions.
She always has questions, and she always has a story.
Yeah, I think the names are great. Was it Pauline from Palmyra or Polly from Palmyra? I don't remember. So
every town's got a lady.
Hazel from Hannibal. You catch the drift there. So, of course, along with Daily Dirt, Steve is our racing guy. He covers the Adams County Speedway for us, and you are very bullish on the future of the Broadway Bull Ring.
I am. The recent, technically it's not a transaction yet till all the final paperwork is signed, but it's just a matter of the legalities right now. And Jeff DeLange and his family have bought the track. Jimmy and Tammy Lawrence are still going to continue to run it, and I think that's just a match made in dirt track heaven. Jim and Tammy do a great job, will do a great job at their end. And Jeff just wants to be involved with the physical end of it, the track preparation and all that kind of stuff. And his main thing when I talked to him was he just wanted to make sure that track was going to be here for years to come. And let's face it, it's been a bumpy road the last decade or so out there. They've had 8 or 9 different ownership changes after the Scott family sold it, and there's been roadblocks, there's been disasters, but it's here and it's really strong right now.
You had decades of consistent ownership with the Scott family, and always, they were there. I mean, that's on their property and everything it was. And then when they decided they wanted to focus on the skating rink, and then of course turned into Scotty's Fun Spot, you're right. It's been there's been a little bit of churn through there.
Yeah, I really never thought it would come back. It was closed down for 2 years, 20 and 21. I never thought it would return. But when Jim and Tammy were able to put together a deal that got it going, the response from the community, the racing community, has been great, and the drivers too. And each week out there, they have a little, Jimmy do a post-race interview with the feature winners. Just a quick, maybe 2-minute thing, and almost to a man, and almost to each week, they all talk about how appreciative they are of the effort that's been put into this. and how good the track is. And that's what I kind of looked into at one point. Steve Grotz does a lot
Yes.
with the track out there. And I've had guys from all parts of Illinois, other states tell me this is the best dirt track they race on, period. And that's what's drawing all the drivers, well, and hopefully the people too.
Car counts have been good too.
Solid. They've been when the place shut down, they were averaging less than 40 cars a week for 5 classes.
Total. Yeah.
Total. It was embarrassing. And now they're up to they're averaging right around 80 a week, and you get into the hundreds and so on. Sometimes you get dipped down. It's a bad week because the only thing that really hurts them racing on Sunday nights. A lot of guys race on Friday and or Saturday too, and they get tore up and they're done for the week.
Yeah.
And they may lose 10 cars a week right now.
But I'll tell you what, when I was working at the track, they tried the Saturday night experiment one time, or Friday, or whatever it was. Yeah, it was Saturday night because Moberly ran Friday and Quincy was going to run Saturday. And again, I think people around here are just Sunday night is when you race in Quincy. I think it's a tradition. People look forward to the holiday weekends and stuff where you get that extra day off and what have you. But then if you have special shows, and like I said, the show that I know they just had the July 3rd, they had a special, and of course they recently had the Hell Tour. So I think if you just stick to Sunday nights and then sprinkle in your specials, I think they're gonna be okay.
And people really respond to those, as you said, the specials. And at the top of that list will always be the Hell Tour. When they brought the Hell Tour in, I think it was 2006 was the first year. Every year since that point, it might not be a sellout, but it'll be close each year. And they just love the drivers involved in that, the action. And there's other good specials during the course of the season, but the Hell Tour will always be number one.
And then, of course, as racing wraps up, you jump in and help us with our high school sports coverage, particularly in football. You, of course, are an Ohio native where high school football is king, and it's sort of like high school basketball here in Illinois. But still, high school football in Ohio, I mean, you're talking big-time stadiums and crowds.
It is. It's just a world of difference. To me, when you talk high school football, there's 4 states. There's Ohio, Texas, Florida, and California. Florida and California don't have the stadiums or the crowds that Ohio and Texas do. And for someone who has not experienced a high school football game in either one of those places, they really need to do it. You will get up to 60,000 or more people for a high school football game in Ohio when they run some special games at like the Cleveland Browns Stadium. But there's probably at least a dozen high school stadiums in Ohio that seat 20 or more thousand people.
I just saw that there was a new high school stadium going up in Texas. It was going to be $50 million.
Oh, I don't doubt that. Texas really has. Ohio's got big money in it. They've got huge money in it.
It's unbelievable, and let's just make sure the kids can read and write and stuff too down there. So of course, we have those issues around here as well. So when you cover you cover fall sports for us and some winter sports as well. What is your favorite local sport to cover?
Oh wow. It just depends what the season is, really. I kind of narrow the sports down by the locations and the concession stands.
That's true. Big concession stand fan.
My favorite concession stand in the whole area is up at Central High School.
Yep. I was at a playoff game last year, the pork chop.
Pork chops, they got like a half dozen options that nobody else does.
Yeah.
A hidden gem is over at Highland High School
Yes.
in Missouri, and they got quality material there too.
Are you a Pirate Dog fan too?
I'll be honest. When I moved out here and first was covering events over there in the Pirate Dogs have changed over the years.
Oh.
I don't know if it's a different brand or a different way they're fixing them. They're not as good as they used to be.
Oh.
Hannibal, let's get this straightened out.
Oh, Hannibal's got to work on their pirate dog. Oh, didn't know that. I didn't realize that. Of course, the last one I had was a couple years ago, and I thought it was great. But
yeah, it's just within the last couple of years.
Okay, well we'll have to investigate that situation. So, but you the other thing you love is baseball. Well, you love your TV and your chair and stuff, but you love baseball. But you also, when you're done watching baseball, you will compile your own set of stats for major league pitchers.
The PEI, Bob, the Performance Efficiency Index for pitchers. Yeah, for the last 11 years, and I did stuff before that, but last 11 years, my real focus has been on, I have my own formula, and some of it's due to other things I've read, and I've combined, expanded, subtracted about. And yeah, I got season and career records for the major league pitchers, primarily the starters. I do relievers, but my real interest is the starting pitching.
You said doo-doo. You said doo-doo.
Doo-doo?
So I saw something online today. The six highest paid pitchers currently are making $223 million this year, and those 6 pitchers have a combined 6 wins.
You know, and I hate to revert back to my favorite team, the Cleveland Guardians, and I was all over them in the offseason for not doing anything. They've got one of the 2 or 3 lowest payrolls in the major leagues, and they have the second best record as we're recording this. And they just have a pitching factory in Cleveland. Somehow they do it. They can't keep a guy when he gets his 4 or 5 years in and he's eligible to be a free agent, but they keep churning him out, and I don't know how they do it, but the worst thing in the world, I think, is signing a pitcher to one of those big contracts because you know they're going to get hurt at some point. And what you said just emphasizes that.
Well, I think it depends. If you're signing for depth, you know, when the Cardinals did Sonny Gray, Kyle Gibson, and Lance Lynn, I was okay with those because I think they'll be fine because they didn't spend the ton. Of course, I wanted them to go get Scherzer, but anyway
Yeah, and has not Max Scherzer been hurt most of the last couple of years?
He was one of the guys on that list, but he's a Mizzou guy, so I got a soft spot for him. And he's from St. Louis, and it's always been like, bring him back to St. Louis so he can finish his career. But the Cardinals, have, since it looks like they might have righted the ship, I'm still not 100% sold on them, but they are in second place in that very soft National League Central division. But yeah, like I said, I think that, when you sit there, now the PEI, have you gone back and done old PEI, gone and looked at old stats to combine PEI, or just for the current guys?
Mostly for the last 11 years, but like in the off season, in the winter, I usually take a couple seasons and do that. Like, I really love the 60s.
You do
baseball, and I'm working into the 70s now too, and compiling those, and it's a game by game thing, so it takes a while. Like I said, each night when I do this at home, my wife is just totally given up on me, but I go to the man cave, and it's a solid 2 hours to do my pitching stats. And
let's talk about your wife, Kathy.
A wonderful woman.
Who you refer to as the little woman. She's okay with that?
She's learned to live with it.
Well, because I know I've talked to women who aren't particularly fond of that term, of you, especially of you.
Oh, I thought you meant me do the stats.
I'm talking about you calling her a little woman.
Well, after almost 26 years, she's gotten kind of used to it.
Because I know there are some women who that rubs them the wrong way.
There was one woman in town who would read a column or whatever I may have written and mentioned the term little woman. She was irate for a number of years, and basically I had to tell her, get over it. I'm not talking about you, and it's nothing derogatory.
It's a term of endearment.
It is.
Well, I will when I get home, I will go, and when I sit in my chair and my wife brings me my slippers and my pipe and my martini, and I say, "What's for dinner, little woman?" She usually answers, "No, that doesn't happen at all." But I will jokingly, about once a week or so, I'll say, "Hey, what's up for dinner, little woman?" And she'll just give me the growl and say, "Whatever you can find, little man." So it's a little fun there. So, but anyway, I just wanted to have this chat with you and say thank you for your contributions to Muddy River. They are very valuable. And I don't understand the fascination with license plates, but you've struck a nerve there.
It's been amazing for someone who may not know. Once a week we update our top 3 license plates for the year and the top ones for the week, and it started out as just a fun thing, and now it's like an industry. I mean, I could show you the emails from. I counted them up again last night, and I think they regularly come from now 6 states. Though I only use the local ones for our quote unquote awards and that. But yeah, I don't understand it. And in one particular guy, I believe he's a professor up at Iowa State. He's fascinated with this for some reason, and I get all sorts of Iowa license plates from him, and I enjoy it. I know the emails now usually from the people that are sending them, but
I will get an email, and I'll forward it to you, and then you usually reply to them, and then I get, then I'm no longer in the equation, which is totally fine. Send them to him at steveinger@yahoo.com. But yeah, I'll get those, and I look at it and I read it, and I see the number of people who read your stuff, and it's just like, which your stuff is great, but still the license plate thing, it's just okay. I don't get it, but people like it, and it's fun. It reminds me of back when I used to, on long road trips with my family. My brother and I would play the game. Hey, who can find the license plates from the states when you're like driving to Florida or Texas or something? And I guess it's like that. We never like write the numbers down, but anyway, no. It's certainly, like I said, you've certainly. You've endeared yourself to this community you've been working and writing here since what, 98, 99, something like that?
Late summer, early fall, 98.
Okay. And, it's like I said, you are a native Ohioan, but you've almost lived here long enough to be a Quincyan. You're really never, I've always said you're never a Quincyan until your grandkids are born here. It's still, you still have, you fit in nicely with Quincy. You came here for love, right?
I did. My wife and I, we met, and she lived here, and I lived back in Ohio, and we had to make a decision, and let's go for the adventure, and I moved to Illinois and been here ever since, and don't have any plans on leaving. I'll probably be buried here, Bob, and I'm planning on living till 114, so we'll be doing the dirt for a while.
Your age 114.
Yeah, yes.
I was looking at my watch as we record this. I'm like, well, you're going to go? What? No. All right. Well, no, we certainly, we are glad that, again, we've known each other for a long time, and you took over the racing beat per se from me at the Herald Whig a gazillion years ago. Back when I did double duty, I would be the announcer, and then I get done announcing, and I have to write a column or write a story or whatever. But Jack Walbring always gave me a lot of help. I said, just put some stuff together that I can just get here to make Krim happy so I can get this thing done, because I really don't want to be up till 1 in the morning, because at one time I was working, and again, sometimes the late, if you had a few crashes or whatever, the racing would go until 11, sometimes 11:30, and there was also a stretch there when I was the morning radio news guy for WTAD, and I'd have to be in at 4 a.m. So
in the morning?
Well, AM does mean in the morning, Steve.
Oh boy.
So yeah, that was those were a rough couple of years there, but yeah, no, I've always loved the people out there. I still have a fondness for the Scott family, for everything they've done out there for this community and continue to do. Jeff bringing back the karting event, which I thought was great this year. So again, I thank you again for being a muddy buddy, and we'll look forward to Daily Dirt 2000 at some point.
Hopefully.
That's all the time we have for now. I'm Bob Goff. We'll see you next week.